Hi, this is Diane Evans from stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if this is your first time visiting me, thank you. I really appreciate you coming over to my video. But also make sure that you do subscribe to my video channel, and you can do so by clicking down below, hitting the bell, and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. So today I'm excited to show you this brand new, and it's a sneak peek from the annual catalog. It's called Butterfly Bouquet, and it does have a beautiful one piece. This is a full background stamp, just one stamp, and then it has these beautiful dies that go along with it. So depending on what country that you live in, this in Canada is $23 and this is $60, but you can buy it as a bundle and save your 10%. So then in these dies, you have this one die that's also going to cut out all of these butterflies. And then you have all these other beautiful dies in here that are more detailed. And then they have a couple of background ones that are really, really neat. I haven't played that much with them. So for the card that I'm doing today, it's a very simple card. It's one that is very easily to be duplicatable. But I think it really shows off just how simple you make a card using these beautiful dies. Now, to begin with, I turned around and I cut out from a piece of basic black. I just cut out all these black dies. And I'm going to keep these because I have lots of cards that I want to do and use black as a background on there. So this is the card that we're going to make. And I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks along the way that I found really helped me. And also, I love to give tips and tricks as we go along. So I have a piece of the thick basic white. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Remember to score into the mountain. And by doing that, what you're doing is you're going to give yourself a beautiful, even base down there. So I'm just coming in with my bone folder. And we'll just get a good crease. Now, I'm going to make this card go a vertical card. So we want to make sure that we've got a really good crease down there. Now, I have some basic black that I'm just going to go ahead and just layer down on here. And I'm going to go ahead. I am using my Tombow glue, my liquid adhesive glue. And the reason I've been like gravitating to this liquid glue is because by doing this, when I put it onto the cardstock, and I actually should bring something in so I have something over top of this black or the white so that I can see the back of the card. So whenever you're going white on white, you're best to put something dark behind. So I'm just putting this on, and the best way to line these up is to go actually from corner to corner. So if you just go like this and line it up corner to corner, it works great. However, the one thing that you do want to do is you want to make sure that you got it even, but by using that glue, you've got that extra wiggle room in there. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've cut a couple pieces. This is Magenta Madness, and I just love black, white, silver, and this Magenta Madness. I think it's very, very striking. So this one I ran through with the Painted Textures 3D embossing folder. It's one of those embossing folders that I think is going to, well, I'm hoping stays in the annual catalog, but it is still available up until the end of June. Very, very versatile. Depending on which way you want to do it, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, I want to also, on mine, I had some twine go around this piece here, but we don't have black twine. So what I wanted to do was show you, I'm just using my dark stamping blend, and I'm just going to go in and I am going to just color that. Now, I probably should put something down below, but that's okay. We don't need to. I'm just going to come in like this. I'm taking my thick end and I'm just going to run this through like this. And I'm going to do it a couple times because I want to get on the different areas, like the front and the back. And I think we're going to need a bit of it. So like I say, I'm just doing this. It kind of saturates into the twine. Now this twine is from the snail mail. It's the snail mail twine. It's the white one. Let's see. And I think I'm going to need a bit more. The beauty of using these blends is that you can use them to color ribbon, you can use them to color twine, you could even use that linen thread. It works quite well with it as well. So I think we've got that fairly good there. Now I want to do this also in a bow. So what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap it around, and it is a tiny bit wet. So I'm just going to actually just leave that and let it dry just a bit. Now I'm going to layer this onto here. And by doing this, then I'm going to wrap it also around the silver part as well. And because it is the deep embossed, I will definitely be using my liquid glue, because that really helps with, you know what, I don't want this to go onto the back of onto my card base here. So let me just grab a silicone mat, and we'll just put that just like that, just in case I've got some glue that's going to go over from the back onto the back side. And we just want to lay that down. Now, this happens to be on silver foil. Excuse me. And on silver foil, it tends to move around a little bit more. So what we want to do is we just want to keep that on there and let it dry. And while I'm letting that dry a bit, I'm then also going to go in. And this is the one butterfly that I have cut out, and it happens to be this particular one down here. But I want to do the silver. So I do have a piece of silver foil, and I'm just going to run that through with my mini cut and emboss. I'll just bring that up here. You know, I'm starting to think that I don't know what I'd do without this little tiny one. I mean, I have my big one that does all the, you know, big class work and all that sort of stuff. But for videos, this is just absolutely perfect because it fits right in the whole screen, right? So I'm just going to run that through. I find that usually it only needs one run through, but I'm just going to run it back. And we'll just move that out of the way. I should really use my brush to take that out. Now these brushes attach onto the one end of, this end of our take your pick tool. So we're just going to put that in there. And then we're just going to run it out of the die. And then we'll just use this like this. Oops. There we go. And see, it just comes out so easily with that. And we'll just move that out of the way. Got this, it's dry now, so we can go ahead and start putting the rest of this together. All right. So I'm going to put this onto this die, but I want to go in and I want to just flip up, just kind of curl it a bit. And I'm actually, oh my goodness, it's not that die that I used. It must be the smaller one. No worries. What we'll do is I'm actually going to leave it like that. I think it'll work quite well. All right, so let's see. No, here it is. I'm going to use this one. I meant to use the other one, but that's no worries. So now I'm just going to go in with my black dimensionals, and my little black dimensionals is what I want to use. I don't want it showing through, but the beauty of it being black on there is that it won't matter if it does show through a little bit, because it's going to actually, it's going to be hidden behind there. So I'm just going to put this onto the back. Take this one dimensional off and just layer it onto here. And that is just giving me a tiny bit of dimension. And because it's a black dimensional, check it out. You don't even see it. I love that. I love these black dimensionals. And then I also cut from the layering, the stitch layering shapes. I cut the circle out of there as well. All right, so we've got this done. This is now good and glued. I'm going to run this around here. And I don't have to wrap it completely around, so I'm just going to come in with my tear and tape. And I'm going to do this one as a different bow. I have issues when I try to tie a bow from a strip. I mean, I can do it, but I'll show you a really easy way to go in and just, I'm going to take this brush off because I'm having, so this is just an extra attachment that you can get, and it comes with pads to use for when you, that you run your die through on. All right. So I'm just going to take this off. And it, yeah, so it's a great accessory to this tool. All right, so let's just put this on here. Right about there, I think. We're just going to run this across here. I'll just cut that off. And then instead of me going and tying a whole bunch of, like another, tying it as a bow, my goodness, I can't even get my words out there. I'm just going to actually just tie a bow and put it on with a glue dot. So I'm going to come back in with my black dimensionals, and I'm actually going to put this, layer this up onto my card. So we don't want those strips to come off. So let's go back in and use our tear and tape and just put it a tiny bit over top of that. Good heavens. There we go. And a bit over here. And then that way that's going to secure that tape on there. And then let's put one more dimensional into the back here. There we go. And like I say, we're just going to put this onto the card, just like so. And now I've got this that's going to go right about here. And I put that on with a dimensional as well. I don't know why I keep putting those back. All right, here they are. All right, so I'm going to just put that in with a couple of dimensionals. And we're just going to put that on there. And we're going to put this on there as well. Now, I'm not going to pop this particular one up. I'm just coming with the glue, and I'm going to put it on there. Now, I'm going to let that dry for a second. And then I have a piece of basic black that I'm actually going to put the sentiment on, and then I'm going to cut it after. So let's go ahead and let's just put this guy about here. Yeah, because we're going to put the sentiment down here. Now I'm just going in now with my twine, and I'm just going to go and just tie a bow. And I'm just going to do the bunny ear bow technique. So just bringing it there, pulling it down, and pull it tight, because that's what's going to keep your bow together, is the tightness. So many people leave their bows and they don't pull them tight, and they come apart. And I'm just going to go and trim that. We're going to come in with a glue dot. And we're just going to put that on the back here. We're just going to squish that bow up. I mean the glue dot up. And then that is just going to go right about there. So when we put, let's see, this is going to go there. Now what we're going to do is, I have a congratulations stamp here. And I got this stamp from, I love this stamp set. It's called a Grandkids. So there's so many really neat things that you can put on for your grandchildren. But I love this Congratulations. I love the font on it. But there's so, I've used this one so many times. It's really a great stamp set. So I'm just going to come in with my embossing buddy. Like I say, this is a retired item. But this item you can make for yourself. You can just go in and... I say an infant sock, and basically what you can do is you can just fill it with cornstarch and then sew it up really good so that the cornstarch doesn't come out. So I am using for some, this is not going to stay. Okay, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this onto the back. You see, there's another tip for you. Or what you can do, I don't put the cling onto the back. You probably noticed on the back of my stamps. And the reason I don't is because if people are, when I sell my retired stamps, if they want the cling on, they can leave the cling. If they don't, then it's their option. I leave it where they don't. Okay, so I'm just going to actually put this down towards the bottom down here. I'm hoping I got that straight. And then I'm going to use my embossing powder. And I leave mine in a tub like this. I find it's the easiest, and especially when I do in-house classes, that's when it works the best. Let's see. Now I've got a bit there. I'm just going to come in with a brush. I have brushes that I have for the purpose of cleaning this part off. And then we'll just get this here. Oops, just making a real mess of this. Let me go back in and do that again because it needs to be, I knocked some off when I did it. So I just go in and I do blow on it. You notice that I keep getting it there. I was shaking there, and I'm not sure why I'm shaking. But we want to get all these little pieces, and usually that's what the embossing buddy does do. And I'm just going to get a bit more off of here. I find the makeup brushes are the best brushes to use for this. And then let's just go down there. It really does show on a black image, and that's why we want to be so careful with this to make sure that it's all good. All right, so I'm going to come in with my heat tool. There'll be a tiny bit of a noise. And we're just going to heat it up. The best thing to do is to just start from one side and go up to the top. Now, I could fussy cut around this Congratulations, but I'm going to see if I can do a straight edge on it instead. So I'm just going to bring in my really cute little trimmer that they had as a recruiting thing. We're hoping maybe, you never know, they might come back with this. We don't know. But I'm just going to use that and trim that. I may have to cut all the way around it. We'll see what happens with that. And then we'll just cut this part off. Trying to get off this side. There we go. All right, and now again, I'm going to use those little handy black dimensionals because I think they work the nicest when you've got them where you don't see them behind. And go here. And then I might have to move this bow a little bit, but we'll bring this back down. And we'll put the Congratulations right there. See, that could have been a little bit smaller. You know what? I think I'm going to go around and fussy cut it. We'll see how that looks. I'll leave it a bit wider than what I usually, more of a border around it than what I usually do. And give it just a bit bigger of a sentiment. Some dimensionals on there. All right, so this is going to go right down here. And I think because we have the black dots, I was going to color some rhinestones, and then I decided not to. So these matted black dots, I'm going to use. Let's use those on there. I keep mine in one of these tubs, and then that way I've got them so that they're all together when I need them for doing a video or doing any kind of a project. So I'm going to put 2 here, and then let's go ahead and we'll put 1 over here. Okay, so there's my card. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, it is very simple, and it does use these butterfly dies, and it doesn't use the butterfly stamp set at all, but it does use the beautiful dies, so we'll just put that there. Now, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Give me the thumbs up. Also, if you live in Canada and you do not have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. All you have to do is I'm under Stampin' with Diane Evans. And if you use the host code, I have a very generous reward program. I also give away tutorials each and every month for online orders that do use my host code. That host code does change, but there is a link to my blog. And on my blog, always up at the top, it shows you what the link is to my online store. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate, like I say, to ask. And have a great day. Bye for now.